Condemned OS, the hardware killer. Most of us live in a walled garden, safe, legal, and tracked. We trust our software to be a bridge to the world, but outside those walls exists a digital wild west of operating systems that shouldn't exist. These are the illegal operating systems, and none are more feared than our first entry, Condemned OS. This isn't just a piece of software that is illegal to distribute, it is a digital suicide note for your computer. Emerging from the most secluded, encrypted corners of the dark web, Condemned OS was built with a single, malicious purpose: permanent hardware destruction. While most malware wants to steal your banking info or lock your files for ransom, Condemned OS wants to physically destroy the silicon on your desk. It is a terrifying masterpiece of low-level engineering that is hard-coded to bypass modern BIOS thermal protections. Once the boot sequence initiates, the OS aggressively overvolts the CPU, pushing massive amounts of electricity through circuits never meant to handle that load. Simultaneously, it disables every cooling fan and thermal throttle mechanism in the system. Within minutes, the computer literally melts from the inside out. In many jurisdictions, possessing or sharing this ISO is treated with the same severity as cyber terrorism or malicious intent to destroy property. It is a ghost in the machine that leaves behind nothing but the smell of ozone and molten solder. Gendbuntu, the militarized Linux. Imagine an operating system owned, operated, and weaponized by a national military force. That is the reality of Gendbuntu. While most Linux distributions are built by community volunteers for the public good, Gendbuntu is the proprietary version of Ubuntu modified specifically for the French Gendarmerie, a branch of the French armed forces. On the surface, it looks like a clean, crisp, blue-themed professional desktop. But beneath that exterior lies a fortress. It is illegal to possess in the sense that the full, unredacted version contains state-level proprietary government encryption keys and forensic backdoors used for national security and criminal investigations. This OS is designed to be deployed across tens of thousands of machines, all managed through a centralized, militarized network infrastructure. It includes custom-built modules for secure communication that are completely opaque to civilian observation. If a raw copy of this OS were to leak from a government server onto a public forum, downloading it wouldn't just be a simple copyright violation. In the eyes of the law, it can be classified as the illegal possession of state secrets or restricted military-grade hardware. It represents a version of technology where the user isn't just a consumer, but a cog in a national defense machine, and the tools it uses are guarded more heavily than the gold in a central bank. Huix, the ghost in the machine. Huix isn't just an operating system, it is a total disappearance act. In an era where every click is tracked by advertisers and every IP address is logged by ISPs, Huix was designed for one radical purpose: to make you completely invisible to every three-letter agency on Earth. It is the gold standard for those who truly have something to hide, ranging from high-level whistleblowers to the administrators of massive dark web marketplaces. It is the ultimate tool for digital evasion, operating on a principle of total isolation. The architecture of Huix is what makes it so legally grey and dangerous. It functions by routing every single packet of data through multiple layers of encryption and disposable virtual machines, effectively stripping away any identifying markers before they ever touch the open web. It doesn't just hide your IP, it hides your hardware's unique digital footprint, making it impossible to tell what kind of computer you're even using. In certain jurisdictions, simply being caught with a bootable, encrypted Huix drive is considered anti-forensic behavior. This can be enough to put an individual on a government watch list, as the only logical reason to use a system this extreme is to conduct activities that the law was never meant to see. It is the digital equivalent of a ghost, leaving no trail for the authorities to follow. Tinfoil Hat Linux, the paranoid's paradise. Developed by the legendary security collective known as the Shmoo Group, Tinfoil Hat Linux takes the concept of cybersecurity to a level that most people would describe as borderline psychotic. This operating system was designed because its creators didn't just distrust the internet, they didn't trust electricity itself. It is a minimal, ultra-hardened distribution built for an environment where the user expects to be under high-intensity, physical RF radio frequency surveillance. The most illegal, or at least most controversial aspect of Tinfoil Hat Linux is its inclusion of specialized anti-forensic tools designed to counter Tempest, a real-world spying technique used by intelligence agencies to read computer screens from a distance by picking up the electromagnetic radiation emitted by monitors and cables. The OS includes protocols to scramble screen output and manipulate data processing speeds to mask these emissions. It is an OS for the era of Vanek phreaking, where even your power lines are considered a potential vulnerability. While it is a fascinating piece of engineering, the possession of tools designed specifically to bypass state-level electronic surveillance puts it in a legal danger zone. It is the operating system for those who believe the walls aren't just listening, they are literally recording every single electron that moves through your hardware. Mobius, the inverted OS. Mobius is a name spoken in hushed tones within underground hacking circles. It is a legendary malware-first operating system. In the normal world, we use antivirus software to protect our computers from infection. In the world of Mobius, the OS doesn't get viruses, the OS is the virus. It was designed and distributed by underground VX virus exchange groups as a living laboratory for the most dangerous worms, trojans, and ransomware in history. It essentially turns your computer into a digital petri dish, a place where the most virulent code can be bred, tested, and optimized. Running Mobius is an act of digital insanity. It is an inverted system where the kernel itself is designed to facilitate the rapid spread and execution of malicious code rather than preventing it. It is illegal to distribute in almost every country under malware intent and cybercrime facilitation laws. Its only purpose is to act as a launchpad for digital infections that are designed to jump from your machine to every other computer on your local network. It is the dark mirror of a standard OS, where security is non-existent by design and every line of code is written to cause as much chaos as possible. To boot, Mobius is to step into a digital plague ward, where the software is designed to kill everything it touches. CIBL, the Cyber Warfare OS. CIBL, or the Cyber Intelligence Bootable Linux, is not something you will ever find in a public repository or a consumer app store. It is a specialized, highly classified operating system designed for state-level cyber warfare. While tools like Kali Linux are used by ethical hackers for security audits, CIBL is rumored to be the offensive counterpart used by intelligence agencies to target industrial control systems, the digital brains that run power plants, water filtration systems, and electrical grids. The legality of CIBL is clear. It is a weapon. In the same way that a civilian cannot legally own a fighter jet, the possession of the full, unredacted CIBL toolkit is a fast track to an espionage charge or a federal investigation in most nations. It contains zero-day exploits and specialized protocols designed to infiltrate high-security, air-gapped networks that run a country's critical infrastructure. It is the software version of a cruise missile, designed to be fired from a laptop to disable an enemy's ability to provide power to its citizens. Because it is a tool of war, its existence is often denied, and those found with a copy are treated not as hobbyists, but as threats to national security. It is the dark side of Linux, where open-source freedom is twisted into a tool for geopolitical destruction. SkyOS, the $30,000 copyright nightmare. SkyOS represents a different kind of illegal. It is a masterpiece of hobbyist coding that became a multi-million-dollar legal nightmare. Unlike almost every other OS on this list, SkyOS wasn't based on Linux or Windows. It was a completely closed-source independent project built from scratch by a single developer over many years. It was incredibly slick, featuring a futuristic interface that many argued was superior to both Windows and macOS at the time. However, as it grew in popularity and began to charge for access, the corporate giants took notice. The legal hammer fell when it was allegedly discovered that SkyOS had utilized proprietary code and architectural concepts that belonged to major tech conglomerates. It was a $30,000 copyright nightmare that ended in a total, immediate shutdown. The project vanished overnight under a mountain of cease and desist orders and legal threats. Today, the OS is a forbidden legacy, a piece of software that is illegal to share or distribute because of the intellectual property it supposedly borrowed. It serves as a cautionary tale of what happens when an independent creator flies too close to the corporate sun. To possess a copy of SkyOS today is to hold a piece of contraband history, a glimpse into an alternate timeline of computing that was sued out of existence before it could change the world. LoserOS, the botnet engine. Finally, we arrive at LoserOS. Despite the self-deprecating name, this system is one of the most dangerous tools for global cybercrime ever created. It is not an operating system designed for users to browse the web or play games. It is an operating system designed to turn your hardware into a slave. LoserOS was famously distributed through underground gaming forums and free software sites as a bloat-free, ultra-fast gaming OS that promised to squeeze every frame of performance out of your PC. In reality, the entire system was a skeleton, a hollow shell designed to turn every computer that installed it into a zombie node for a massive, global botnet. The moment the OS connects to the internet, it contacts a command and control server and begins participating in massive DDoS, distributed denial of service attacks against government and corporate targets. The user might think they are getting high frame rates in a game, but in the background, their CPU is being used to take down a national bank or a hospital's network. Running LoserOS makes you an involuntary participant in a global criminal syndicate. Because it is a system designed purely for the coordination of criminal activity, simply hosting the download is a felony in most parts of the world. It is the ultimate trap for the curious and the greedy.